Coming up next, I'm going to do my top 5 fragrances from, can you guess the house? Imaginary Authors, one of the best value bargain niche houses you'll ever find. Wonderful house, especially for people trying to get into the niche world for the first time, or if you're a seasoned veteran. Truly good. My top 5 coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose. And you heard the topic today, my top 5 favorite right now, because I always put the caveat right now, because that list always changes depending on my mood, the time of the year, what I'm smelling at the time, whatever. My top 5 fragrances from Imaginary Authors. For those of you who don't know this fragrance house, you got to get to know it. Each bottle is very unique. Each one has, when it lists the different fragrance notes, the last note listed is a made-up fragrance note that encapsulates the theme behind Imaginary Authors, which is like basically perfumes written about mythical stories or books. And maybe the best part, all fragrances are under $100. Okay, they're 50 milliliter bottles for 95 bucks. So you get a great value. Let's get right into this. My number 5 fragrance from this house is, you see it, Sundrunk. Sundrunk, if you've never tried this one, I mean, just let me read the notes to you. It's got neroli, it's got rhubarb, it's got, I gotta say this right, make sure I said it, honeysuckle, rosewater, orange zest, and then the mythical note is first kiss. And when you smell this, all I can say is orange cream soda. Do you remember those orange creamsicles when we were kids? It was like orange and like a cream that was combined in a popsicle. Or it also reminds me of, say, an orange sun-kissed on a hot day by the beach or the pool, and you have a glass bottle and you're drinking an orange or maybe a Jarritos. This is such a great summer beach fragrance, but it's also good in the winter if you're like, you know, stuck in really cold weather and you want to remind yourself of the summer. This is one that does it. It's effervescent, it's bubbly, it's lively, great fragrance. All right, next I have as my number 4 fragrance is Slow Explosions. Slow Explosions. This one is, how do I say, it is a rose leather unique creation. So the notes, just to read you, these are saffron, rose absolute, leather, apple, benzoin, cashmere, and the mythical note is Aphora Night Market. So this is, it is one of the most unique, I think, in the entire house. This is kind of a polarizing fragrance. I know a lot of people that don't necessarily like this because that rose, leather, saffron combo is very different. This one is out there. But if you are a niche lover, and I dare you, for you guys out there, if you have the, I guess, you know, the openness and the daringness and the willingness to try new fragrances, and maybe you're a little bit wanting to get outside your comfort zone, Slow Decisions, Slow Decisions. I'm saying the name wrong. Slow Explosions. If I said it wrong before, I don't even know. Slow Explosions, because I'm thinking of another fragrance coming down the line that has decisions in the name. So Slow Explosions again. If you are daring and willing to try something new, try that one. And the next decision, got my mind stuck on decision, is Decisions. That's number 3. This fragrance is one that, it's one of the newer fragrances from the house. This one's like a classic, dark, sexy amber fragrance. Just to read the notes that they list here, well, tuberose, sarsaparilla, geranium, labdamen, jasmine, sambac, raspberry, and the mythical note is sweet suspense. What I like about this fragrance is the jasmine element. This is, to me, a dark, sexy jasmine. Jasmine, for those of you who don't know, is a white floral that contains one of the main chemical notes is something called an indole. Indole, I-N-D-O-L-E. Indoles have a animalic smell. So a number of white floral fragrances, when you think of white floral, sometimes people think feminine or light. Actually, it's kind of the opposite. So jasmine, when it's in its truest form with lots of indoles, is very animalic. And so when you smell this, this is a animalic jasmine fragrance, and therefore the type I like. And if you like that, you gotta try Decisions. Let's go to my number 2. This is one of the classics from the house, one of the most popular, I think, Memoir of a Trespasser, or Memoirs of a Trespasser. So the notes here are Madagascar vanilla, Gaiac wood, myrrh, bergamot, benzoin resin, ambret seeds, and the mythical note are oak barrels. So this one it reminds me of being in Kentucky in an old bourbon factory, maybe a mill with lots of wood, and they're cranking out bourbon in the bottles or whiskey, and it's just like dark and rich and deep, and you're sitting again with friends and maybe you've got a glass of whiskey. This is that type of fragrance. This is a real masculine men's fragrance. If you want to go out on the town with your boys, or you got a date and you want to feel like, you're like hair on your chest, puffed up, ready to go, this is that type of fragrance. Again, Memoir of a Trespasser, one of the classics, maybe the most classic from the entire line. And that leaves me with my final one, which is going to be maybe a little bit of a surprise. This is Saint Julep. Saint Julep. The reason why I picked this is, for those of you who watch my channel, you know one of my favorite fragrance notes is mint. I love mint. And this is a beautiful mint fragrance. Listen to the notes. You have sweet mint, tangerine, southern magnolia, bourbon, sugar cube, and crushed ice. So the mythical notes are sugar cube and crushed ice. This is like a mint julep. Mint julep, for those of you who aren't aware, has been made famous. It's like the drink of the Kentucky Derby. It's a very southern, genteel fragrance or drink. It's something that you would go into the South, and a mint julep is like the sign of like the rich, the elite. This has that smell of just like a beautiful, sweet, bourbony, rich, syrupy mint masterpiece. That's all I have to say. And that's why it is my favorite from this house. And this house is, as I said before, truly, truly, I think one of the better fragrance niche houses, considering the value and everything else. So there you have it, my top five favorite fragrances right now from Imaginary Authors. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all your support. I truly appreciate it. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace, love, and perfumes.